Well, here I am. Come today to spend a little time with you. It's Easter Monday, 2020, and my name is Father Christopher Leith, one of the priests of the Society of St. Pius X here stationed at St. Mary's, Kansas, with a few words just to help all of you during the abnormal times that we're living through right now, with a little video about some topic. And so I'd like to present a little talk on a subject of virtues. So the topic and the title is Virtues. And I'd make three segments for you. So this will be in three segments on virtues, at least to start with. And the first segment, which is beginning now, is what is a virtue? So we start with the idea of what are these things that we call virtues? It's something we should know. I would like to think that I got a good Catholic education, but it wasn't until I entered the seminary. Actually, till I finished the seminary. And that's because the state of Catholic education has been awful in the last long time, since I was a boy, I'm sure. And the general run of things out in the world, if you grew up when I did, you didn't get a good Catholic education. Probably not. And nowadays, it could be even worse. So, in fact, even some kind of counter education. So, if you had a good education, though, which could be, and some did, you learned, all about the virtues and what virtues there are and what is a virtue and how important they are. So we start with one on just a few minutes on what a virtue is. So first, a virtue is a habit. It's not only a habit, though, they're also a gift. Virtues are gifts from God as well, habits. Now, not all habits are virtues. We call some of them vices. Vices are habits too. And however, that's the difference is the good habits are virtues and the bad are vices. So how about virtues then? What about them? They dispose us to be good and to behave well. So we're born in this world without any virtues. We come in this world with nothing. We have instincts. We have everything that's proper to human nature, but we do not have virtues. And it's something that has to be developed and fostered in our behavior, the virtues. And the virtues are necessary for human happiness, so we need them. Now, what is a virtue? It's a habit, a habit of doing well. And we think of the virtues as something that's needed for the happiness of a human being. We're not happy if we're not virtuous, and we're not happy with another person if they're not virtuous. You take, for example, someone who lies to us, and I go, "Well, I was deceived, and I wished they hadn't really tried that on me, and I wish they would have been honest." That's normal. Now, the people that want the neighbor to lie to them, they're obviously, that will come back to bite them. So we want to be virtuous. We want others to be virtuous. God wants us to be virtuous. He knows that we start off without any virtues. And on the contrary, instead of virtues, we have bad tendencies on account of the wounds of original sin. And interestingly enough, when we're baptized, the wounds of original sin are already there. They're in our soul. This human soul is wounded by ignorance, by malice, by concupiscence, and by intemperance. So these wounds are there, and they tend to produce in us bad tendencies, bad behavior. The virtues are those good habits by which we overthrow our bad tendencies, so that when we're tempted, we will acknowledge the evil that's that of what's attracting us. Temptation is an attraction to something. We wouldn't say it was a temptation if it didn't attract us somehow. Temptations do attract us, and when we notice that they're attracting us, we realize that it's necessary to not follow that attraction, but we have to point it out to ourselves. Well, why not? I mean, this looks great in a certain way, doesn't it? Yeah. But that's not the whole story. We look at the whole story and we're honest about it, and we say, yeah, it's sweet in this way and that way, but it's not good in this other way, and that would be a real problem if I went ahead and continued that way. So, virtues are then habits, and they're good habits, and we need to develop them as we're growing up. It's good. The sooner the better. We should teach our children their virtues very early, and what we want to do is know what they are, and then set our heart on developing them. And we'll talk about some specific virtues for the next few minutes, because there are different categories of virtue. We have those whose object is God, and those whose object is just on the natural level. So those virtues whose object is God are called the theological virtues, named after God, because God is the object of them. So those are faith, hope, and charity. And those are the most sublime virtues, the highest of all are faith, hope, and charity. The virtues, the natural virtues, are otherwise called the moral virtues or the cardinal virtues, are prudence, justice, temperance, and what's the last one? Temperance and fortitude. I always forget the fortitude part. So it's good to know what the virtues are. Those other virtues, the cardinal virtues, have other virtues that are parts of them. So they all make up together. If you get one category, for example, under temperance, there are several other virtues that all together make up temperance. And the other virtues under justice, that all together they make up justice. And so we get to see what the virtues are, and that what we want to set our hearts on making those types of behavior our own way, so that we act just like they would say to act. So what are virtues then? These are sort of behavior patterns. We want to be addicted to virtue. That's really good, because addiction, usually we have the word addiction in a negative connotation. Addiction to alcohol, addiction to this or that or the other thing. That's it's awful when someone's addicted to the wrong things. But if we're and when you take those, even when you analyze a negative addiction, you think of it as something. It's a behavior pattern which someone has a hard time getting away from. Really hard time. It's been practiced over a long period of time, and anytime a person gets near the occasion of this kind of action, which would be the act of whatever addiction they have, they just drop into it without even any resistance. It's like, here I go again. I'm back into the same old thing. Addiction is awful when it comes to something that's negative, that's wrong, that's out of order. But addiction is actually extremely good when we're addicted to a virtue or addicted to a good thing, and that we find it hard not to be good, because we've been doing it so long, and we realize the evil consequences so well that we want to do those good things instead. So just a little introduction on virtues and on what virtues are, and I'll come back in a little time. You can find another segment on, as I introduced, why are virtues so good? Why should I like virtues?